Hello, everyone. My name is Pastor Nathan J. Cooper, Northwest Community Church, 4401 West Ritchie Road, in the north section of town in Houston, Texas, 77066. I'm very delighted to be able to come to you and present to you this message that the Lord has given me. And I feel like I definitely want to be able to give my service unto God through passing this message on to you. So let us get started. We all know the situation that we're in today, but like I said before, it has happened before. And so that's why I want to call your attention here uh, that you don't get despondent and don't get let down. The Lord have not left you. When we think about some of the things that have gone on in the past in studying theology, we find so many things that repeats itself. As a matter of fact, Jesus said there is nothing new under the sun, and it is not. So these things that we'll see today are happening, has happened in the past. But I guarantee you, my Lord have mercy, 40 some odd years in preaching the gospel, I recall that so many times that things like these come up in all kind of ways. So you don't have to cry, you don't have to do all these things, but trust in the Lord. 99 times, I believe, and that's safe to say that, every time the children of Israel got in trouble, it's because something they did, sin against God. Look at this. God got so angry with them before, and he got so angry also with Pharaoh, the leader. The leaders have to be very careful if they're going to lead God's people. And all of them is God's people, no matter what race, color, or creed. We all belongs to God. Nobody is that wise to create man but God. And so we got to take it, and we got to take it not with a grain of salt or just haphazardly take it. God is real. And he also is present in his creation. Now you can't see him. Even if you did, you couldn't stand to see him. But he is present around you every day, every moment, every hour. His holy angels, the Holy Spirit that guide us in all ways of truth. But the Lord do get tired of us sinning and disobeying him. Yes, he does. He really get tired of that. And so you don't want to be at his hand because he'll bring an arm of discipline upon us. And when he do, nobody can get you out from under it. No matter who think they can, nobody can get you out from under the wrath of God. It's recorded all over the world in all the books, history books. You can see the devastation of God's hand. You don't want to be the recipient of that discipline from God. Take a look at this. In the book of Exodus, 10th chapter in the second, and around the first verse, it says here, now the Lord said to Moses, go in to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his servants, that I may know these signs of mine before him, and I may show these signs before him, and that you may tell in the hearing of your son and your son's son the mighty things I have done, that you may know that I am the Lord. Does make a difference between the Egyptian and Israel. So you see, God got angry because of what Pharaoh and how he was in bonding them. And we have same leaders today that are following the footsteps of Pharaoh. And God is still the same God, and we are still his same people. And God is looking after us. But you know, some of you people that I'm talking to, you already experienced God, and you know God. And we know him, and you've experienced him. But those people that don't know, and may I also say, those are the ones that can't fathom the power of God. Don't even know him. But those of you at Northwest Community Church, and oh, by the way, I'd like to welcome all of you that have tuned in, and we just like to hope that you could accept some of this, strengthen you, that'll strengthen you, that'll make you stronger and walk closer with God, and make him your God. He'll accept you as his Father, his God. And so the story goes on how Pharaoh was ruthlessly doing the children of Israel. It's kind of like we've been done today. Some things we had never seen before. And he says, and all these your servants shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, get out, and all the peoples who follow you, after that I will go out. Then he went out from Pharaoh in great anger. But the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not need you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. So Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he did not let the children of Israel go out of his land. See that? There's some other things that happen in the United States that's similar to this too. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be your beginning of the months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Set all the congregation of Israel, saying, on the 10th of the month, every man shall take for himself a lamb according to the house of his father, a lamb for household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, then let his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the persons, according to each man's need. You may make your account for the lamb. Now these are the ways that God was instructing also the children of Israel, how he wanted them to do this, what he wanted them to do, and the exact thing that they needed to do, and not stray from it. And so Moses had to tell them and Aaron what God wanted to be done. See, God is a God. He's not like man. So, and as he explained to them how they was to eat the unleavened bread and that kind of thing, then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, pick out and take lambs from yourself according to your families and kill. He tell them how to do it so that they can kill the Passover lamb. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop, dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike it over the lintels. That was the door that the house that they was in. Once they killed that lamb, they was to take that blood, strike it over the lintels, the top of the door, and stand beside the two doorposts. Okay? With the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning. Does that sound familiar? We're told not to go out of our house, stay inside. But that blood of that sacrificial lamb was to be painted over the front door as the death angel come by with the blood that is in the basin. And he said, don't go outside the house. until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians. These are the enemies of God's people. And when he see the blood on the lintel, think about that. It may not sound like nothing to you or me, except those that believe that this was the word of God and it had to be done. And on the two door posts, up and down beside the door, the Lord will pass over the door, see that, and not allow the destroyer to come into your house to strike you. Think about that. You see how God interacts with us on this land? He hadn't gone off and left us. But you have to be a child of His. You have to be accepting. Now you got to have faith in God. Nobody can please God without faith. Why would He do something if you don't believe He'll do it? Makes sense, brother? All right. And you shall observe this thing, which means you should do it as an ordinance for you and your sons forever. He said, it will come to pass when you come to the land which the Lord will give you, just as He promised. God promises sure that you shall keep this service. And it shall be when your children say to you, what do you mean by this service? And you know what this is about? This is about Holy Communion right now, when we have in the church. What do you mean by this service? That you may say it is the Passover sacrifice of the Lord, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt. Then He struck the Egyptian and delivered our households. So the people bowed their head and they worship. How about that? That's what happens when you obey God. But that divider didn't touch God's people. Even though we're supposed to obey the laws of the land, God reminds us. But you see, the leader, who was Pharaoh, he was doing God's people all kind of ways. So this is another reason why we do need to pray for our leaders. But the Lord said, pray for them, and you heap more coal upon their head because they are in the hand of the Lord. Got it? And whoever did this, if there was someone that did this, God knows who it is. And He's going to deliver His people out from under. It's easy to get mercies from God. Just obey Him. Worship Him. Love Him. But the thing about it is you can't deceive God. You can call all kind of prayer virtues that you want to call. If you don't mean it from your heart, doesn't mean nothing to God. Nothing at all. See, you can't play with God. God is not a man where He shall lie. As a matter of fact, Satan is the author of lies and the father of it. That's the opposition against the will of God. Oh, but we must know there's nothing God cannot do. Nothing He cannot do. And so we have to keep that in mind. There's more examples than that in the Bible. How the death angels came by and God prepared His people to get ready for the death angel. But they couldn't touch a string of hair on their head. They couldn't touch not one string of hair on their head. And so therefore, you're in God's hand. No man can take you out of God's hand. So may God bless you. May God keep you. Let us continue to pray and worship, whereas that we can be always vigilant and offering up prayers unto the Lord. Don't get perplexed, because God got it in His hand. May God keep you. May God bless you. We ask you to please stop by, and if you can, help us in our service in any kind of way that you can. We'll love it, and we'll bring you more this manner. And the next time we meet again, may God bless you. May God keep you. We love you. Come by and visit us at Northwest Community Church. God bless you.